let's lay you facing me first. So this one, you guys probably have already learned this. Come closer to me. Where you can have a pillow here, right, against the person's body, and then you reach around and you're gonna do a distraction technique, right? So you guys know this one, it's a lift technique. But then you also probably learned maybe the superior and inferior glide of the scapula. So you can combine that and kind of go up and down. And then if you remember, you can also do a little PNF here. You can have them bring their shoulder towards their ear and then shoulder down. And so she's helping me right now facilitate this right as I'm going. So that's all fair game, and you can use that technique, okay? But one technique that I like to do, which shoulder was it?
Yeah, this one.
Okay, so then let's, you're going to, yeah, just stay there, but go onto a little bit, the back side of the table, like halfway, good. Okay, so this is a technique that I really like to do because it involves, I'll scoot you forward a little. It involves the thoracic rotation, this concept of the ribs and the thoracic spine are working together, okay? So what we do here is you can kind of see the border of her scapula. I bring this arm up and knees up a little bit higher so she's anchored. And then what I'm gonna do here with this front hand is I'm gonna create the posterior tilt that we want. Okay, so typically the shoulder's anterior tilted, right? That's in a dysfunctional state. It's tipped forward, which is part of the reason why when you raise your arm, it actually blocks your shoulder elevation because it's not getting out of the way, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our front hand to kind of find, you'll find a little bit of that acromion, and you'll give it a little, even the coracoid you'll feel, and you're gonna make sure that you kind of give it a little push this way. Then this hand is gonna start to search for the border of the scapula. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna not just go in and like, you know, be aggressive with the scapula because there are nerves deep to there. What we wanna do is we wanna just very lightly engage her scapula. And I'm coming up the border, and what I'm trying to do is feel for any stiffness or tightness in the muscle. And I'm gonna wait for her body to allow me to come in there, okay? So I'm just gonna nice and easy kind of find my way in. I'm slowly taking my fingers up into the anterior portion, okay? So we have to go through the trapezius, the rhomboids are here, and then the most important that's here is your levator scapula, okay? Because we're gonna do a technique to stretch levator scapula. So I'm kind of coming up and in, almost sort of massaging through her tissue, kind of doing like a fascial release. And then when I feel like I've got a deep enough grip, I'm gonna hook my thumb onto the top section of her scapula, the spine of the scap. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to distract her, okay? And as I do that, she's going to feel like I'm rotating her towards me, and because I am, I'm going to be slightly pulling on her, creating a rotational stretch. So this hand is helping facilitate forward. This hand I've got a nice grip. And here we go. We're just going to slowly, I'm just waiting on her tissue to open up and to stretch. Okay, I'm creating some distraction. You'll see my body is starting to come this direction. Okay. I'm going to reassess and grip a little bit higher. Because now you see how her levator is stretching here, right? Okay, that's going to go up to C, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see how now her head's starting to come with me, or we're pulling her into a thoracic rotation. Okay? I can come off now. And I'm just gonna keep going. Just gonna let her body come with me as much as I can get it to come. Okay? If I need to re-grip, I'm gonna just kind of come in here and just give that tissue a little bit of work. Okay? See how it's connected to her cervicals? Her cervicals are following us now. So this is a really nice technique. It usually feels very comfortable, okay? So it really helps to open up when you've got a really bound down scapula. You're gonna open up the levator. You're gonna release some of the trapezius, some of the rhomboid. You're gonna release all of that manually through your handhold, okay? And you can take as much time as you need because it's really dependent on if she's gonna let you in there or not, okay? So you wanna respect the tissue that you're working on. You don't just wanna push your way through. And then you can kind of reset a little bit. I'm just giving her a little bit more thoracic rotation, and she's opening up really nicely. And then from here, I can then create a little bit of my PNF at the same time. Okay? Having her help me go up and down, and then relax. Okay? So it's just a really nice technique. So instead of being in front, reaching over them, you're right here next to them, okay? It's really good body mechanics for you. You just kind of feel their way in. You're gonna find some people you're not gonna be able to get in there, and you'll have to figure out how to maneuver that. Whether that means you have to open up the arm a little bit to create a little bit of the winging coming under like this. Okay, maybe you have to do a little bit of needling or some other thoracic or rib cage work first to create a little bit of some release so that you can get in there. Okay, so that's why I teach that first, because that's always a default, is to go after the rib cage first and the thoracic spine. That'll open up your scapula and you can get in a little bit better. But this is a handhold that you could use if the person's relaxed. You can try to bring them forward a little bit to protract. That will help pop off if it's a really tight scapula that's having a tough time letting you in. Okay? Otherwise, you're just gonna have their arm up by their side, and you see how I'm controlling that. Okay, so I've got her locked in through my opposite arm, and I'm just gonna take her where I need her to go. Okay, and then I'll, at the very end, as she's really rotating, I'll step off and I'll give her a little bit more of a distraction. This distraction right here, if you see the angle that I'm pulling, is the same as if you're here reaching over them, pulling up. You see that? It's the same thing. I'm just giving you this sort of soft tissue awareness first, creating the rotation. Okay? Okay, good.